Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this episode, I'll be touching base on Xamarin's XAML Grid. A grid is basically a tabular version of displaying all your UI widgets on your app. So I'll demonstrate how you can actually change or manipulate each component on your grid. So let's get started. So what I've done ahead of time was to create a brand new Xamarin app, both for Android and iOS. And this is what I came up with. And on the left hand side, I've got my live mobile phone connected to it using a shared screen. So once your USB is connected, you can do a hard reload, so you can make changes on the graphic live, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And if your USB is connected properly, you should be seeing your mobile device like that here. You can actually select from here. If it doesn't select here, what you do is you go to your settings, and right at the bottom here, developers option, if you scroll down a bit, toggle USB debug like that, and then you can see it's gone offline here. Then you go toggle again, click OK here, and next it will ask you for USB debugging RSA key. Click OK here. Once you do that, your device is online and ready to do hard reload. And then if you pull down here, you can see your mobile device here. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a quick dry run on my mobile device here to show you what we have here. There's not much difference from a standard Xamarin Welcome app that you can actually create once you create a brand new project here. So this is what it looks like. So I'll be putting this in a tabular format just to demonstrate how to use a table. So right now, if I were to stop here and let's say go to my main page here, this is what it looks like. Let's run it again. We'll come up with the same page here. And what hot reloads does with a USB connection is that it allows you to make those changes live on your code, and you can see those changes come right away. So let's see if I change this to like that. You can see the changes comes right away on your mobile phone there. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. So on with our development here. So first of all, before you do anything in a grid format, you're gonna have to define a grid. Say grid. Okay, and everything has to be allocated inside in here. So the way to do it would be to first you're gonna have to move it in here, but before you do that, you're gonna have to do some row definition here. So we'll say row definition, and then you go close it. So inside here, each row has to be defined one at a time. So row definition. So for this one here, I'll have 1 row, 2 row, 3 and 4 rows all together. So rows are basically you define your height, and then say if I put asterisk, it will just take whatever the size of it. I'll show you the difference here shortly. So row definition, let's do it 1 row, and then I say I require 4 rows, right? So we go here, and there you go, 4 rows. So what you do is you take your label from here, and then inside the grid you paste it in there, and then you allocate. Right now everything is stacked into row 0. That's why it looks weird, right? So this is first widget, this is a second widget, this will be a third, and this will be a fourth widget, right? So you can assign each of them a row. So let's say this is going to be grid dot row, and this is going to be my first one, sorry, the 0th row, which is a title. And then the next one will be your show now. You can see that show now will go right at the bottom there as soon as you assign to 1. And then next one will be row 2, which is your title, go right at the bottom, and then row 3, just like that. You can see they're equally spaced. This asterisk just allows you to do that. So if you were to reduce this to say 100, you can see the heading start to reduce and everything start to squish up, right? So I'm gonna leave this as like that, and I know that my start now is just 1 liner, so maybe I'll allocate this one to be like 40, and you can see it's being squashed. So let's try 20, didn't like it. Say 50, so 60. You can see the title is nicely spaced out, and at the bottom here there's a lot of text in here, right? So you don't know how much to allocate. So if you do auto here, you automatically allocate the size nicely there. Not saying that you can't do this. You can do this definitely to auto, and then it will nicely adjust it, right? So just to demonstrate asterisk and also the 60 and auto. And the last one, I just say use whatever is available there for you there. So that's what I've used there. So I can also put it to 10. You can see everything gets squashed, or auto for the matter of fact. Right, so the same Xamarin widget, which was initially stack layout, now has been organized nicely into a grid layout. So that's with row only. So that, what if you have, this is with one column, I guess, with several rows. But what if you have 2 columns, right? So if you want 2 columns, basically you're gonna have to define your column again. Grid, column, grid, column definition. Similar to what you have done, you have to define each column. Say, let's say column definition, and column are normally width of the column that what you manipulate with. The star means is the common one that normally people use. So over here, I'm just gonna put asterisks to start off with. It's easy to show, and I'm gonna do 2 columns. You can see here shortly, and the graphic starts to change. You can see if you don't define here, you have not assigned the column. By default, it takes the very first column, similar to what we did just now with row. If you don't define the row, it takes the very first row. So you can explicitly specify this to go to, say, the second row, right, which is number 2. Sorry, second column, which is number 2, which is, by the way, number starts from 0 in computer world. so this one goes to column 1, or rather the second column. This one, let's put it as column 1, and we'll just do a zigzag here like that. You can see the words going back and forth like that, right? So that's how you manipulate the grid and adjust your screen that way. So I hope you learned something from this short tutorial. If you have any questions, please drop me a line. Other than that, you have a good day. Bye now.